Hello everyone. My name is Vinod Jagadeshan. As it was introduced, I'm the Data Center Services Capability Lead in India. Today we are going to talk about certain innovations that Accenture has brought into the data center space. Someone asked the question that what are the innovations that Accenture has done? There are a lot of innovations that have to come, but one of it is in the data center services space, which I'm going to describe now. It is called NGDC. We call it NGDC. It is Next Generation Data Center Services. I'll get into that. NGDC is one of Accenture's concept. This is basically innovation in the way data centers are managed. Right now, it's been almost three and a half years where this concept was introduced. It was first introduced in 2009, and after that, it's gone into 3 evolutions. We are coming out with the 4th. I'll tell you as we discuss further. I'll tell you what is the 4th one. Now we are going to talk about 3rd evolution, which is basically commoditizing the data center services and its associated components. As you all know, for any IT business, IT is a key enabler, especially in the infrastructure. Basically, it acts as a backbone. So there are different points here that we have covered, and the corresponding impact on IT infrastructure. Basically, any high performance business which is adaptive in nature, okay, your corresponding infrastructure should be flexible and agile. Any business that is catching up with the competitive advances should be quick. It should have an infrastructure which is quick and business oriented. And optimization and productivity enhancement should also be in line with the IT infrastructure that we are supporting. So it basically talks about what is the impact of IT infrastructure in any high performance business. These are certain points that is a day-to-day challenge of any CIO or people who support the infrastructure. Every infrastructure it grows, but the growth is not correlated to the design, nor the strategy. There is a strategy, but the growth is so exponential that it crosses the limit. Most of the environment or most of the client infrastructure are sometimes very complex and inflexible. That's because of the company's inorganic growth. It is due to the merger and acquisitions. There are certain applications in any client environment which is kind of developed in a silo manner. Suppose there are 3 different applications. There are 3 different applications having 3 different infrastructure. That is one of the challenges for the people who support it, as well as the CEO of the company. So it's basically we are trying to define the challenges which led to a concept that NGDC is. Okay, while I am talking, if there are any questions, please feel free to stop me and interrupt. Some of the main trends, which is also a slight challenge for most of the people who support the infrastructure as well as the CIO, is there is an expectation from the user base or the client base to do more for less. People expect you to be more responsive. There is a buzzword of making things simpler, so they want you to consolidate everything. So there are buzzwords that's in the market. No one slightly understands what is behind it, but people want or expect you to implement that in your infrastructure, irrespective whether it is easy to implement or it's complex. Technology enablement, and at last, not the least point, operational maturity. Okay, there is expectation that there is a performance improvement, either in terms of people, in terms of systems, or with the SLAs that we are defined. The operational metrics, okay, should show improvement. Only that it is presumed that it is doing fine. If there is a decline in the metrics, then there is a feeling that it's not running fine. So holistically, it is need for any service provider or the CIO to deliver benefits year on year. Although in the last two slides we talked about the operational challenges, technology challenges, and the third and most important one in a data center space is the capacity management. Although there are different trends starting from 2007, you will see every year there is a technology that is focused towards optimization, efficiency, and productivity. So we have taken a glance at how it was and what it is and what it is going to be. So I'll take what it was in 2007. That traditional compute demand versus the capacity of the data center was never forecasted. Although there were forecasts done, it was not based on the demand, the compute demand. So what happens is the data center lifespan reduces because the computer demand is exponential to the forecast. For example, if you see in this, though it was a data center was designed to be sustainable for 2012, got its limit very much before it. That's mainly because of the compute, the exponential increase in the compute power. So which will create bottleneck in space, capacity, and power. So what happened is there was a solution that was introduced to reduce this. That is a solution to reduce the consumption. The HVAC philosophy. HVAC is basically heat, ventilation, and air conditioning. This is the framework which is specifically called data center space management and the power management. Although this solution was introduced, this was not good enough to sustain the lifespan for much more. So then came a different solution that was to do some kind of virtualization, predictive support and automation, which could reduce or which could reduce consumption and increase capacity, but even that was not sufficient. That is when like Accenture thought about it and came up with the concept called NGDC, which is not much different to the solutions provided. It is same as that, but it adds some additional component here, that is making it standardization, rationalization, and ensure that it is commoditized. That's where we got into engineering.
So is that a tool or what?
Sorry?
Is that capacity management tool?
No. NGDC is not a capacity management tool. NGDC is a concept for managing the data center. It is, I would call it data center, or I can also call it infrastructure, entire IT infrastructure. There is a concept that we have developed Okay, we implement this concept, and this concept is independent and vendor agnostic. And then moving further, I will give you the framework and how it is functionally done. Sorry? Sorry, there is some problem here.
How does it differentiate the other data centers which we have in the other traditional?
Yeah, I'll come to that point as we go. When we compare this to a traditional data center, okay, it is not much different in an operational value. If you think from an operational point of view, however, it is majorly different when you see from a structure point of view. Okay, what we are trying to identify in NGBC is all those gaps that are there in a traditional data center. As we go further, I'll explain how that is achieved. Yeah.
Is it something based out of any geographical area you select or on demographic something?
No, this is, as I said, it is location agnostic, vendor agnostic, or it is basically independent. It's a concept which could be picked and adopted on an existing plant or a new plant. It's agnostic. Here's the vision of NGBC. NGBC is, as I said, it's on a traditional, it's a traditional structure with a different concept. It is based on innovation and adaptability. It is based on standardization and commoditization. We bring in virtualization in here. The most important component is integration with the supporting components of any data center. And the vision of NGBC is a pool, create a pool of virtual infrastructure to ensure like all intelligent systems are integrated, and it looks as if it is a stream of servers that you could access irrespective whether it is a Unix, whether it is Windows or Linux or anything. This initial vision is also to ensure that the provision becomes dynamic. Okay, most often what happens is the growth becomes uncontrollable or complicated when you don't have a dynamic provision. To ensure it is predictive, the operations are predictive, and more importantly, the core concept or the component in NGBC is the service-oriented architecture. Okay, we are trying to build this concept into a service-oriented architecture. As it initially mentioned that this is evolution 3, what I am describing you. We are in the process of getting into evolution 4, which is called NGBC 4, but we have changed the name from NGBC to Agile Data Center. So that is in the process. As we probably speak with you next time, we will be able to describe more on Agile Data Center. Here it is describing you the building blocks of NGBC. It is the main process is based on BSM, which is the business service management. The second point or second building block is to ensure that there is process automation in every service, whereas basically saying that we will ensure your PaaS, SaaS, apps, okay, into this. IaaS is one of the major components. Someone asked a question on IaaS also, I think. So the focus is to make it automated. The focus is to make it predictive operations and full services. Finally, the third point of lifespan of a data center is trying to ensure through NGBC that the data center is rationalized, standardized, and it is also in line with the green light philosophy. So that's sorry. Yeah, please.
As Rob had pointed out that Accenture has strategic alliances with most of the data center providers. And when you say about green idea, I just thought of asking you this question. How does Accenture differentiate itself in promoting green ID standards in those data centers? Because it obviously doesn't own them.
It is embedded into our solution. In fact, a very good question. It's embedded into our solution. It's embedded into our concept. Okay, it's embedded into the way we operate. Okay, so when we are proposing or transforming an environment, client environment, our design itself includes green in it. So basically, if you talk about NGDC, the focus is basically on HVAC, okay, which is to reduce the heat, reduce the power, okay, increase the ventilation, and reduce power, reduce power in terms of AC. That we do it through consolidation, through virtualization. It is basically increase and compute power with less resources. So it is there in our system.
Do you target any of the data centers to reduce the carbon footprint every year per year?
We don't work by target, as you know, like this is basically selling. We'll have to convince the client. Okay, if the client is happy, and there are other additional components to it. Okay, the client will accept our solution, and then once the client is accepting our solution, it has three phases into our building or our implementation. If it is an existing client, first phase is to ensure that we standardize and consolidate. The second phase is to ensure that we integrate their business systems and automate it. And the third phase, and the most important phase, is basically changing their environment into a service-oriented infrastructure. Okay, that's in short for you to. That's what the focus of business service management is from a complex service to change from a complex technology we change it to a complex service. It's basically commoditization. Someone asked the question: what are the benefits? This is the illustration, and these numbers. Though I say illustrative, it is based on the real life case studies. Probably 2 sessions after that you will get to know, but you will not know the numbers. This is the illustration of what changes or what savings NGDC brings into. It is the numbers defined: license. There is improvement in license. There is improvement in operations. There is improvement in VAT. There is improvement in IT management. And the benefits, as we discussed, the benefits are there. With this, I move on to another slide, which is very important. As I said, NGDC is independent. NGDC is vendor agnostic. Okay, NGDC is location agnostic. The NGDC concept is built in such a way that any software or any hardware could be fit into the concept. Accenture is the largest, the world's largest service integrator for most or almost all of the companies. The advantage by we being the largest service integrator is, as Gopi mentioned, there is 800 close to $1 billion that we spend on training. Apart from that 800, there are other sponsorships that we get from these people, part of our collaboration with them, and the advantage is the same as we progress. So that almost completes my session. I have a couple of more slides which describe how NGDC, say for example, if it is VFC software, how is it going to be? If it is HP, how is it going to be? This slide is HDDC built with BSC software. This is how it is built. There are different components, the associated components of HDDC. This is on BSC tools and their processes. This one is HDDC built with HP. Similarly, there is new technologies as well as the emerging technologies in our next project, where it will be with NetApp. There is a separate concept called unified computing. We have it with Cisco. We have it with collaboration of Cisco, NetApp, and SAP with VMware. So there are different things as you become part of our, if you wish to become part of our organization later on, and you will get to know all that. So with that, it completes my session. I hope it was useful. I'm happy to take any questions.